Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we sure appreciate you guys coming on live. And we'll say hello to a few folks when you get your notifications. And here we go. Got a few right away. Mike from Norland. How are you, Mike? Andrea, Niagara Falls. And Brahim. Good morning from Portland, Oregon. And Janice, Brampton. And let's see, who's number 5 this morning? Here we go. Kevin, Oshawa, how are you? And I can't see that one. Beverly, how are you? Rosa, Morial, Nativity, good morning. And Jude from Troy, New York. And Linda. Oh, we love those Lindas. New Brunswick. Monette, how are you? Sharon from Kansas. And Donna from Newfoundland. And Nick from our staff. Good morning. Georgie, Halifax. Nova Scotia. Barbara, Atlanta, Georgia. Donna, Park Hill. Wendy, Markham. And Sandra, how are you? From Brampton. Yolanda. Olga, good morning. Dave, how are you? Wanda, from Ridgeway. Fran from Tilsonburg, good morning. And another Donna. Fran, Orangeville, good morning. Phyllis, West Tennessee. And someone was from Stouffville. I think that's Millica, but I could be wrong. Nellie, Francis, and Anna, how are you? Louise, good morning. Wendy, from Wasaga. Marla, Ottawa, good morning. And Shireen, and Maureen, Penticton, British Columbia. Karen, good morning to ya. Margaret, a couple of more here. We'll say hello. And then we're Kim from Manitoba. Denise from Oakville, good morning. Karen, Cold Water. Kathy, Port Perry. Lufty. Jude, happy Friday. Nancy, Gore's Landing, thank you. Donna, and we love those Donnas. Irene, from Chrysler. And who was that there? Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, and Sandy. Hey, okay, let's get to our questions. Teresa is asking, what is the best protocol to build up white blood cells? Okay? Here's what I saw in practice for years. When people were low in their blood, okay, when they had a low blood count, whether it be red blood cells or white blood cells, one of the big factors is vitamin D, especially for white blood cells. Vitamin D not only supercharges your white blood cells, it helps your lymphatic system to produce more. Your blood will produce more white blood cells. The other thing is B12. Now, B12 is more for red blood cells, but I'm telling you, B12 is important. The other one is vitamin S, steak. I tell you, you need complete nutrition. Complete nutrition. Look at I used to put, by the way, people that were low in their white blood count, I'd put them on our, used to be called Blood Boost and multi-nutrient, because that was like eating 10 steaks in 1 tablespoon. Okay? Everything in there and all the cofactors to build blood. So those are the things I would tell you, Teresa, to build blood. Eat well. You got to make sure you're absorbing your food. And that's why I like digestive enzymes. That's why I like probiotics. There's several reasons for them, but usually as you get older, you're not digesting as well. You don't have the amount of enzymes that you do when you're younger. Those things can all be factors in the breakdown of food, and breakdown of food makes blood, bone marrow. All of these things are important. Okay, Nancy, what number does Dr. Martin like triglycerides to be at? Well, I want triglycerides to be low, and I want your HDL to be high. Okay? So the numbers, listen, if you want to just look at triglycerides, by the way, get my book. Okay, I answer these questions. Nancy, in my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. See? Okay? And if you go to, I believe, chapter 8, hold on a minute. Okay, chapter 10. Okay? I'm just going to read to you, okay, from page 157 in my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. Okay? So, your goal, low triglycerides, high HDL. Most people have this number upside down. They have high triglycerides and low HDL. Now remember mainly where this is happening. It's happening in the Costco parking lot. The liver. When the liver gets gummed up, one of the ways your body gets rid of that extra glycogen, that extra fat in your liver, it produces triglycerides, fat balls, triglycerides, 3 fat balls. Okay? And you want that to be low. The best way to make it low is to cut out sugar and crappy carbohydrates as much as you can. That'll lower your triglycerides. And when you're eating cholesterol, your body makes cholesterol, whether you eat it or not. But God gave you a responsibility. Okay? Your body produces about 85% of your cholesterol. 15% is up to you. You want to get your HDL up. Okay? We talked about cholesterol every day. It's not the boogeyman. Cholesterol is actually on your side. And specifically HDL, because HDL will go and hitch their wagon to those triglycerides. Okay? So, let me read from the book again. Okay? Ideally, okay? Ratio. Ideally, woman should look for triglycerides under 1. Okay? In the U.S., that's under 100. Okay? That's how they measure triglycerides in the U.S. of A. 100. Try and keep it under that. Okay? And men under 1.5. Women, 1 or 100. Men under 150 triglycerides. Okay? Even if your HDL is even with your triglycerides, that's all right. But optimal is to have your HDL up to 2.5 times higher than your triglycerides. So to answer your question, Nancy, for you, under 1 would be ideal, okay? It can be up a little bit above 1 or 100 if you're living in the US of A. But I really like the ratio between your triglycerides and your HDL, okay? So that's really important. And for the optimal blood test, Look at my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. Chapter 10 is all about blood work. And you know what, guys? It's really important that you sort of monitor your own blood work. Because, again, I think I've taught this enough times. Doctors often, and God love them, okay? They just often look for love in the wrong places. They're not looking so much at your triglycerides. They've been trained to look at your cholesterol and your total cholesterol, and especially your LDL cholesterol. It's just the way they're taught. Okay? They're taught that in medical school. So they flag, in my opinion, the wrong things. And I think I can prove it because heart disease is worse than ever. You know the bang for the buck? Well, we sure haven't been getting it. We spend a fortune on heart disease, a fortune, and the results just aren't there. First of all, because people don't look at food. They don't look at that. Food isn't part of the equation in medicine's mind when it comes to cholesterol. Well, the only thing that they do is tell you something wrong. Well, cut back on your animal fat because I want you to get your cholesterol down. It's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that. It's sugar. It's sugar. That's the problem. We are never meant to eat a ton of sugar, and that's what we're doing. A boatload of it, a dump truck load of it every year. And no wonder we're seeing so much fatty liver. What happens in the liver doesn't stay in the liver. What happens in the liver, it's not Las Vegas. What happens in the liver spreads. It spreads to your brain. It spreads to your heart. It spreads to your blood vessels. And one of the things that happen is that your triglycerides go up and your HDL goes down. Got it? Okay. And thank you very much for that question. Okay. Randy's asking, how does flax seeds help in ridding of oxalates? Randy, I don't know. Did I say that somewhere? Maybe I have. And I got to look it up. I know what flax seeds do. The reason, Randy, I love flax seeds, okay? Because people always ask me, and there's a lot of gurus out there that tell people don't eat flax seeds because it's going to elevate your estrogen. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. Lignans, Lignans, lignans in flax seeds. Flax seeds have 100 times more lignans than any other seed. I'm not big on seeds per se. Okay? You can eat seed. A lot of people shouldn't eat a lot of seeds because they have a tendency to get stuck and you're going to get diverticulosis. And anyway, I saw way too much diverticulosis in my practice, way too many times. And I used to tell people, first of all, you ain't a rabbit. So when you lay off the spinach, spinach gets stuck in your teeth and it gets stuck in your gut too. So lay off. You're eating way too much of it. You ain't a rabbit. And you ain't a squirrel. Okay? Do squirrels eat seeds? I hope so. Okay? A lot of people get fat because they eat way too much of that, but they can also irritate the gut. But I have an exception to that. It's called flax seeds. Okay? And I'm trying to think, how would they get rid of oxalates? Randy's asking me a question. I don't know. I got to look it up. But I know what it does to estrogen. It lowers estrogen. And the problem in hormones is estrogen is dominant. And again, it's never just estrogen. It's estrogen compared to progesterone. Okay? And we live in an estrogen-dominated world. So I never, ever, ever recommend anyone under any circumstances, again, in my opinion, never, ever touch estrogen. Not with a 100-foot pole. You don't need estrogen. Elevate your progesterone. Okay? Okay, lignans and oxalates. I don't know. Randy, you got me this morning. Okay, I got to look it up. Maybe somebody's already answered it there. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Elena, no, wait a minute. John's asking, is there any evidence to suggest that people who stay indoors a lot get more skin cancer than tanned outdoor types? Yep, there's evidence of that. And not only that, okay, when people, okay, you know who gets, and this is really important, John, to understand this, okay? Skin cancer is a common cancer, by the way. To me, okay, and again, I'm just going to give you my 2 pennies worth. It's way overdiagnosed. Way overdiagnosed, skin cancer. Way overtreated, skin cancer, okay? Now, I'm going to give you why I feel like this. The deadly cancers, guys, the skin cancer that will kill you, okay? You're not going to be told this, but the skin cancer that will kill you, that's dangerous, is melanoma. Unlike basal cell carcinoma or squamous cell carcinoma. Those usually, they're not malignant, but melanoma is the bad cancer, okay? And you know what? The facts are that people that get melanoma, that deadly cancer, are the people that stay out of the sun. I just can't tell you, you know, it's almost like, John, you weigh things, okay? You weigh things. Vitamin D from the sun, good or bad? It's good. Very, very, very good. Study after study after study after study. Vitamin D. Especially if you can get it from the sun. You know, I believe in supplementation of vitamin D, of course. For us Canadians who can't get in the sun for 6 months of the year or more, right? And you folks in Florida and Arizona, and you're scared skinny of the sun. You've been duped. You've been lied to. It was the dermatologist hooking up with Johnson & Johnson to keep you out of the sun. And the sun is anti-cancer. It's not the boogeyman, but they made it a boogeyman, and the world, hook, line, and sinker, went for it. They lied, and people died. Isn't that what they said about the Iraq war? Right? That Bush lied and people died. Remember that? Well, here it is. Dermatologists lied and people died. Because vitamin D, your immune system doesn't work without it. You are a human solar panel. And exposing your skin to the sun is one of the best things you can do. And you know how smart your body is? You can never overdose on the sun if you sit in the sun, because your body will top it off at 10,000 IUs in 20 minutes. There's no reason to burn in the sun. You don't need to burn in the sun. Now, it's easy, right? You go on a holiday and you haven't seen the sun since I don't know when. I think that's a song. And you get on a beach, you know, after spending your winter in Canada or northern USA, you get on a beach in Jamaica or you're in Florida or whatever, and you burn. Don't do that. Okay. I don't want people to burn, but I want people to get on vitamin D. It's an essential vitamin. Nothing in your body works properly without vitamin D. It just doesn't. I can't think of anything. So when it comes to your skin and skin cancer, and by the way, I've been consistent for 50 years. 50. 5-0. The sun. Sun, steak, and steel. I did a podcast for someone else the other day, and I'll let you know when it's ready to come out. But she says to me, what does steel mean? I understand the sun. I understand steak, but what's steel? I said, get strong. Muscle. Anywho, I get excited, guys, but I'm telling you, I can't handle it because people have been lied to and people are dying from a lack of vitamin D. Dying from it. It's so important. And the darker your skin, the more vitamin D you need. Remember that. Okay? John, there's a lot of evidence. Elena is asking about hyperhidrosis, especially the hands. What do you do? Okay, that's excessive hyperhidrosis, water. Hyper sweating. I feel sorry for people that hyper sweat. Okay? And especially when it's, it can be embarrassing for them. And I feel sorry for them. And is there any cure to it? Anybody that tells you this is easy to fix, run. Okay? Forrest, run. People, just do this. Now look if I thought hanging you upside down would help, I'd do it. I'd hold your feet. I used to look. I mean, when people would come in and that was one of the problems that they had, and it wasn't usually, I can't think if I ever saw some person that came in and that's the only problem they wanted to address. Maybe once or twice. But you know what I did? I just did a full workup and see what they were deficient in, see if anything was going on. A lot of times they had very high levels of cortisol. And I would deal with that. And sometimes they got better, not cured, but better. If anything, I'd recommend is our cortisol formula for that. Okay? But cure? Nah. I haven't seen it. Okay? I haven't seen it. But I've helped people with it generally. But I always look for deficiencies. And sometimes they have low levels of vitamin D, and that's why they have excessive sweating. Get their vitamin D levels checked. It's a symptom of low levels of vitamin D for some people. Not always, but I've seen that a lot, vitamin D deficiency. And of course, I put them on vitamin D. I know I sound simplistic, guys, but I'm a simple person. I'm a simple man. Okay. Sherry is on asking the questions. I would like Dr. Martin's opinion on the dry fast. Never heard of it. Sherry? Never heard of it. You want me to look it up? No, you're going to tell me about it. Okay. The dry fast has no food or water for 12 hours, recommended to be done 3 times within the month. What do I think of that? 12 hours without water? Yeah, you could do it. Go to sleep. You get a dry fast every night. Okay. Usually you don't go 12 hours. No, maybe you do sleep 12 hours. 8 hours is the sweet spot. Okay. 7, 8 hours is a sweet spot. During those 7, 8 hours, you certainly are not eating, and better to wait 3 hours before going to bed. So not eating there. Now you're into 12 hours just about, right, of a fast. Without water, though, a dry fast, I don't think I like that. Okay, Sherry? I don't think I like that. Your kidneys are Niagara Falls, and I don't recommend that. I guess you could get away with it, and you're doing it at night, but I wouldn't do it during the day without water. I wouldn't. Your kidneys ain't going to like you, and it doesn't help your kidneys without water. Water is, your kidneys are, ask Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Because Rosalinda lives in Niagara Falls. She knows. Go to Niagara Falls. Go to the falls. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Oh! The falls are, the water's flowing. Yep. And that's your kidneys. Your kidneys need H2O. I would not do a dry fast. Food, yeah, you can stop eating. You can do intermittent fasting. I like that. I got no problem with that at all. But I wouldn't do it without water. Water you need. And I wouldn't go 12 hours at any time without water. Okay? That's me. Show me proof. Show me studies that tell me, that show me that dry fasting is actually good for you. I don't know, Sherry. I can't see it. I can't see it. Okay, but I appreciate the question. Okay. And this doctor claims that a dry fast will give the kidneys a rest. Nah. It will stress the kidneys. Okay. Nativity. How are you, Nativity? Thank you for the question. You and Heather are asking. Okay, so it's almost the same question. Someone told me shrimp, lobster, crab are the ocean's suckers. And part of the cockroach family. I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. Listen, seafood. Okay, now, let me say a couple of things here so you understand where I come from. Okay? We don't live in the Old Testament days. Okay? I read the Old Testament, and there's some, I do. Okay? And you read about foods that are clean and unclean. Okay? But Jesus undid all that when he came, because he said, no foods. Okay? What goes into the body is not unclean. It's what comes out of the body that's unclean. So, for example, pork. Okay? Pigs. Dr. Martin, do you know what pigs eat? Yeah, I know. But pork is good for you. Pork is so much better for you than a piece of bread. I don't even know how to say it. Pork is so much better for you than sugar. Pork is so much better for you than crappy carbohydrates. Okay? What do I say about flour? Almost all of it. They're just sugar holding hands. Okay? So, is pork the best? No, steak's the best. But you know how I operate? Good, better, best. And when I say eggs, meat, and cheese, I mean every meat, including crab, lobster. What else did you ask? Okay? Nativity, you were told wrong. Okay? You were told wrong. Full of protein and minerals and no carbs. So I love Newfoundland. How do you like that? That's what they eat. A lot of fish and a lot of shrimp and a lot of lobster and a lot of crab, and good for them. It's good for them. Okay? Now, is there something better? Yeah, I think steak is better. Okay? That's me. Because you know me, sun, steak, and steel. But I get it. Because the gurus, pork. You know what they eat? They never touch pork. I don't believe that. Okay? Now, if you don't like pork, okay, don't eat it. I'm not big on fish for me. Like, I know how good it is for me. I take fish I tell people I have fish every day. You do? Every day, 7 days a week. In a capsule. Do I like fish? I love fish. In a capsule, for me. Okay? Because I like steak better. But if you're if you are on the reset and you are eating lobster, crabs, okay? Good for you. You'll do well. And it's good for you. You'll see. And I mean, that's been proven because insulin goes down. Inflammation goes down. Okay? All the things that we talk about all the time. And it's good for you. So I disagree. And thanks, Nativity and Heather. I like to be able to explain why I do what I do. I want to be able to explain it to you guys and defend it. Okay? Yeah. There's always better. There's always best. Would I say pork is the best? No, but it's good. Very good. It's got full of vitamins. It's protein and fat and almost zero carbs. Not bad for you at all. Okay? Now, cook it good. You know what I mean? Yep. Cook it right. Okay. Thank you, Nativity and Heather. We appreciate those questions big time. It gets me into a little diatribe. Okay, Lynn. Okay, let me see here. My blood pressure is 85/57. Is that too low? Well, nah, it may be you, Lynn. Depends what time you take it. Are you dizzy? Are you lightheaded? No? Well, if you're not, I wouldn't worry about that. Look, blood pressure can be too low, but if you're feeling all right, it's the way you're built. Okay? I don't like low blood pressure if you're dizzy, lightheaded when you get up fast. Your blood pressure is too low. Okay. I mean, that's important. But, most of the times I was dealing with, and that can be your thyroid, hypothyroidism, or the thyroid is sluggish. But if you got no symptoms, Lynn, I'm not too worried about that. Okay? Thank you for the question. What should I do about it? Nothing, unless you're, and if you are low, you get on our blood boost, now called multi nutrient. Ooh, we have to change the name. Ooh, okay, Bev. Dr. Martin has spoken a lot. He sure has, about causes of plaque in the arteries, but can he please speak on whether it can be reversed? Well, look, I've seen it. I was more concerned about stopping the progression of it, okay? And that's important, okay? My goal usually was to stop the progression of it. But you are fearfully and wonderfully made, Bev, and I've seen it. I've seen reverses, and where you really notice it was in the carotid artery, okay? Where the carotid artery was blocked up. And I've seen reversal of that. Anti-inflammatory diet, eggs, meat, and cheese. Very anti-inflammatory. Remember what we talked about with atherosclerosis. Hardening of the arteries. What's behind it? Inflammation. And what causes inflammation? Insulin, obesity. What else did we talk about? Sugar is very, very high in that. And, if you got autoimmune, we talked about infection. We talked about periodontal disease. We talked about oxidative stress and those things like oils, and get off those oils, those bad oils, the ones meant for your car. Okay. That was Bev. Angie, can you still have inflammation in the body when your CRP is normal? Usually not, Angie. You're saying that you're the exception. I have had autoimmune disease for years, and it's always normal. What's normal, though? Were you at zero? Because what really, Angie, and I need to see your blood work, but ordinarily people say, well, it's normal. Well, you see, under medicine results, usually under 3 for CRP, they'd say that's normal, but no, 0 is normal. Under 0 is normal. So you might have a low grade, I don't know, Angie, you got to see your blood work. But your autoimmune might only be registering at 3, for example. They would say that's normal, but it's not normal. Normal is to have no inflammation in your body. 0. Nada. None. So I don't know, Angie. I got to see your blood work, because normal don't mean nothing to me. It's like when someone says, oh, my B12 is normal. That don't mean nothing to me. Normal is what? Is it optimized? No. Well, then it's not normal. Okay? I was explaining to someone the other day, the B12 test is 100 years old. Give it a birthday party and put it to bed. CRP is usually very, very accurate. And you might have, if it's 1 or 2, 3, some doctors, they don't care if it's, as long as it's under 6. I don't know, Angie. You message info@martinclinic.com and give me that number. And I'll tell you. You should have 0 inflammation. Okay. Anna, I think I can do all. Yeah, I only got 2 more. Let's finish them. Okay, Anna, how do I know if I'm burning fat, not muscle? Well, you can actually measure that. Okay, you can measure that. There are devices that measure that. They measure fat loss and they measure muscle loss. Okay? Generally, here's what, Anna, if you're eating eggs, meat, and cheese, and you're losing weight on the reset, or reset-like food, right? You're mostly eating protein and fat, very little carb. When you lose weight, You're not losing muscle. That's why people, when, calories in, calories out, that's a big problem. I'll tell you why. Because when you lose weight and you just cut back on eating, you're going to lose weight. The problem is you're going to lose muscle mostly, and not fat. Your body is like a bear. You're not eating, I'm going to store my fat. But when you're eating, that's why, guys, I want you to change fuels. The best way, even for weight loss, is to eat the right foods, to eat the right fuel. When you change fuels, your muscles appreciate it, your bins like it, and you're burning off fat. That's what you want. And I know, women especially, they get on a scale and they live on the scale. Okay? Dr. Martin, I only lost 5 pounds. I only lost 5 pounds. I'm disappointed. And then I used to, in my office at least, I showed them what 5 pounds look like. I'm holding 5 pounds in my hands of fat. Can you see it? If you're on a podcast, it's a big blob it's a foot long and 6 inches wide. That's 5 pounds. You lose 5 pounds of fat and your body is giving you high fives. I never liked the scale. Dr. Martin, and especially women. My husband lost 20 pounds and I only lost 5. Yeah, but if you did it right, you lost 5 pounds of fat and you lost visceral fat. And you're going to see your shape is better. Your clothes will fit better. And you're doing it the right way. Lose fat, not muscle. Most people are walking around and they're sarcopenic. You know what that means? They got no muscle. They got no muscle. And they're in trouble because they got no muscle. Okay. Thank you for the question, Anna. Anna's got 2 questions, or is it the same Anna? Maybe it's 2 Annas. I don't know. Here's what the second Anna says. What causes a young person in their 40s to develop osteoarthritis? Well, I'm going to tell you one of the factors, because I used to see this in my office so often it was incredible. For young people to get osteoarthritis. Now look, is it rheumatoid? Is it autoimmune? No, I'm not talking about that. Leave that aside. I'm going to talk about degenerative arthritis, which is an osteoarthritis, okay? Usually in the joints. They had insulin resistance in the joints. I just want to show you something, okay? Or I'm going to read you something. Okay. Let me just get this out because I have a study here. 10 minutes. Okay. In a recent study in arthritis and rheumatology, researchers discovered that your joints could develop insulin resistance. Imagine that! Insulin resistance inside your joints. Diabetes of the joints. Imagine. What is Alzheimer's? Diabetes of the brain. Insulin resistance goes everywhere, from your nose to your toes. It makes your joints. if they get insulin resistance, and not even just me. Arthritis and rheumatology. Researchers discovered that your joints could develop insulin resistance, and that affects the synovium of your joints, knees, shoulder, hips. Why is it so important, guys, to get off sugar? Sugar gives you cavities. Would everybody agree with what I just said there? Sugar gives you cavities. True or false? That's true. Any dentist in the world will tell you that. And it's funny, they get a kid in the office, and then they give them a sucker because they were good afterwards. And dentists know sugar no good for their teeth. Anyway, sugar no good for nothing, honey. It's not good for your skin. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your joints. It's not good for your gut. Oh, Dr. Martin, red meat, it's going to kill your gut. No, sugar will kill your gut. Sugar will kill your stomach. Because you weren't meant to eat sugar for your stomach. Not 100 pounds of it, or 2. Sugar in the joints. Imagine diabetes of the joints, according to arthritis and rheumatology, in a study done by researchers there about insulin resistance. Right in the joints. It affects your synovial fluid. Imagine that. You know how many millions of people find their joints are better when they go on the reset? Hey, doc, my pain. Yeah. You got insulin receptors everywhere, like vitamin D receptors. And insulin's on your side till it's not. Until it becomes a bad neighbor and it's knocking at the cells, even your synovial cells. Okay? That's one of the reasons for osteoarthritis in young people. They're in trouble because they've been lied to about food. Okay, guys, I'm done. We're not going to have question and answer Monday. Now, listen, in Canada, Monday's a holiday, July 1st. In the United States, it's July 4th. I plan on being on, I think, for both. Okay? Monday, I'm planning to be on. Okay? Okay, guys. We love you. Thanks for sending in all those questions, by the way. We'll talk to you soon.